was crazy.
Hi, Eve.
Hi.
Welcome to another crazy week. You know, I think when we first started this podcast, we decided on the name My Last Girlfriend Was Crazy, but week after week, things do legitimately seem to get crazier and crazier without us even trying. Like, we're minding our own business these days.
It's true. So let's start with our pop culture news. We're going to go reality TV, celebrity news, and TikTok trends for all our millennial friends who haven't been on TikTok ever. I'm going to start with the least exciting of the three, which is TikTok. So there's been a Fry Fest, effectively. Is it Fire Fest or Fry Fest? Fire Fest. There's been a Fire Fest in Barbie Nation. So if you are on the TikTok algorithm that I'm on, apparently Barbie or Mattel or whoever owns Barbie was selling tickets to this convention, which was a huge convention center, concrete walls, the whole gamut. You go in, $250 tickets, mind you, and there's supposed to be all these activations. Like you can do an activation and get photos in the Barbie house. You can do an activation, like pretend to cook with like Barbie-esque cooking things. You can get a makeover, except that there was nothing in the convention center. Like nothing. You went in, they had these like rows of pink tape for you to walk through, but there was nobody there.
Damn. And they like sold tickets and everything for this?
Yeah, $50 tickets. And like you don't even get samples. Like Lauren's Bakery, Sweet Lauren's, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, they were one of the sponsors. And they were like, they have like a poster up. And then no cookies, nothing. Like they're like a spot, they just have a poster up.
That's really weird.
Yeah. And so like a lot of brands are online right now being like, well, we didn't really know, like we weren't given any information either, so we didn't know when to show up or what to bring or like whatever. Yeah, it looks really bad. I don't know who actually like put it on, if it was Mattel or Barbie, which I think is owned by Mattel, or like a third party, but yeah, but also it's kind of weird. It gives Disney adult because there's a whole bunch of like 35-year-old women walking around in pink to take pictures in a Barbie house. I don't even think people like kids our age have Barbies. They have like proportional dolls.
Yeah, they have different stuff now. I wouldn't know what, since obviously, you know, we don't kid over here.
No.
But child free. But that is weird though. That's crazy.
No, I think there's gonna be a lawsuit about it.
For sure.
In celebrity news, you want to give us that one?
In celebrity news, I'm kind of okay. I'm weirded out, but also like it's kind of fun, but Alex Cooper is coming out with this new reality show. I believe it's called Winter Games, and the cast is crazy. So I will give credit where credit is due. The cast definitely is interesting, and
it spans the gamut between reality stars, but also just like pop culture figures, like Hallie Batchelder, however you say her name is, being on it, Anna Delvey being on it, like
Demi from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and Dakota.
Right.
Like, I get where she was going with this. I do. But look, I don't think Alex Cooper should be producing and or putting together reality shows. Like, bless her heart. But like,
she did Love Overboard.
Right. I didn't watch that. But
I'm going to tell you, here's how I know a reality show's good if my boyfriend likes it. He wanted, like, he's been trying, I can't even tell you how obsessed he is with this show. I'm only saying that because I got you on Traders, and I was also skeptical about Love Overboard. I like all reality. He has a better picker than me.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out. Listen, I will check it out.
Episode 3. You got to get to episode 3 before you're hooked.
Okay. So listen, do I think that the cast is wildly entertaining? Yes. I'm still not sure exactly like the premise of the show, and I think as you kind of mentioned, there's like a lot of couples on there, which I find also I don't know about
Serena, who like aren't even really in the public.
It's so weird to me. Like, well, they're on the show because obviously they have this new pop culture podcast with Unwell.
I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes more sense.
And obviously Haley's Batchelder.
Correct. That one aligns.
Right. But yeah, and also the whole thing with Joe and Serena having a pop culture podcast, I'm just like, since when do they care about pop culture? Since when does anyone care about them? No offense. Right. Like Grocery Store Joe, like I got it when he was kind of doing his food stuff like on Instagram, and I was like, okay, that's like cute, I guess, whatever. But like him and Serena, like I could give two shits. Like I'm just like
Well, the brand has to align with the person, right? Like the
100%.
branding has to connect. I think what I will say that I appreciate is a lot of reality shows these days, I feel like they cast within their network. And she's casting within her Unwell network, but her Unwell network crosses over a lot of spheres.
It
Whereas a
does.
lot of like the reality shows on Bravo, they all cast within Bravo. The reality shows on ABC, they cast within ABC. On Netflix, they cast within Netflix. And that's what does make her shows interesting is the crossover. Similar
For
to
sure.
the way that like I'm thinking of The Perfect Match and Traders and some of those other shows, that crossover is interesting.
It is. Like that was the cool thing about Traders is like it did take people from all different walks of I don't know if you want to call it like reality TV life, but
Sure.
but also like what's their name? The ice skaters. They obviously weren't part
Right.
of reality TV, you know what I mean? And so that was interesting. So I do like the crossover and I do like the mixed match of people and whatever. But there were a couple people on there where I'm like, again, I just don't understand the Joe and Serena. I don't
I
understand
don't
what they're even
understand that.
doing with Unwell. Like
I
Joe
don't
and Serena are like wholesome. Like to me, they're like sugar cookies,
well,
you
right.
know?
And I also just don't find them very interesting, which is
Same.
the whole problem. I am floored by whoever Anna Delvey's PR agency is. This girl has had the rebrand of the decade.
Yeah. Like 9 lives, literally.
Literally. Isn't she still on house arrest because she did that fashion show with Kelly Catrone on the rooftop like 2 years ago on house arrest?
I don't know if she's still on house arrest, but she definitely is still dealing with like legal troubles. But I mean, hey,
She also looks nothing like she did. Who, on that note, and this is a side note, but what's her name? Gypsy Rose Blanchard or whatever?
okay, listen, I will say like I'm all for a glow up, and it's
But it's a
impressive work.
wig, right? That's a wig. There's no
I don't
way
know.
that's real.
I don't know if it's a wig or maybe she just got really good
No,
extensions.
no,
I don't
no.
know.
They're terrible. It goes like this.
Yeah, it looks like a wig. Can I confirm if it's a wig? No,
It's
but
giving
like
Kim Zolciak.
yeah. Oh, God, I miss Kim. I love her so much. Yeah.
Kim needs to get back on our TVs. That's someone who needs to be on the show. Like,
Kim
also,
and Nene just
can they
need
do
to.
Age of Attraction with reality stars? Give me Age of Attraction with Kim, with Brit, or what's her name, Bethany, with all of
Mm,
them, but also like Kyle Cook, but also like, give me
mm,
Age of Attraction reality star edition.
I would love that. That would be epic. It just sucks because they all know each other's ages already. Because
Yeah, fair,
right,
fair.
but I love that idea. That would be amazing.
In theory,
So,
in
in
theory.
theory, in theory,
To our pop culture finale, the statement heard around the world.
God, yeah. So Amanda and West apparently, from what it looks like, confirmed their relationship today.
Even though
They
they don't, what's interesting is they don't use each other's names in their statement.
They don't, and they also don't say like we are together as a couple. The wording was very weird.
Right.
And again, I have some people still saying to me that they think that it's an April Fool's
No,
prank, but I'm
absolutely
like this has been
not.
going on for a long time now. And like
I,
April Fool's is tomorrow, by the way.
tomorrow,
It is the
right.
31st. We are recording this today just so everyone is aware. It is the 31st as we are recording this. So
No, it's
it's
not. It's not an April Fool's prank. I saw one TikTok that was exactly what I thought about this, which was basically that they were like Amanda's mental health could not stomach somebody
right.
telling her you need to like play this, basically villainize yourself for a month publicly and go along with it. Like Amanda would be like, absolutely not, no amount of money. Like the girl's got her own mental health struggles. She's not on board with that.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, unless like listen, the only way I would agree to this is if I was literally getting paid like a mill. Like I'd be like, okay. I mean, again, my love can be bought, so it's just sort of like, what are we talking here, right? But
Sure.
it would have to be a shit ton of money for me to agree to something like this because this is like very damaging, like reputation damaging
Literally.
stuff,
No, it's insane. So
and like not funny if this winds up being an April Fool's joke, which I do not think it is
it's
at this
not.
point in time.
No,
That's
it's not.
not funny at all. Like
No,
that's weird,
because Ciara and Amanda just recently unfollowed each other like two
right?
days ago, not like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think there's been all these rumors swirling, right? A lot of them have started to make sense. They've started to
Yeah.
come together. I posted this on my Instagram last night. So I got a text last night out of the blue, I have a friend who used to be randomly on Southern Charm, like went to a lot of the Southern Charm parties, like used to Snapchat with Craig, like whatever, and is connected in that on the East Coast in that in that like Bravo universe, has gone to some of the summer house parties, etc., and was like in the background of some of the early summer house seasons. And long story short is a lot of the rumors that we were seeing online, she had not seen them. And she sent me a text that said almost the exact same thing, which was that a neighbor of Amanda and West, sorry, a neighbor of West, like videotaped a girl in West apartment, was like, I guess it was one of those like buildings you can see across into their window.
Yeah.
And like she knew it was West's apartment because he's a Bravo celebrity. She watches Bravo, right? She knew it was his apartment. Saw a girl over there, thought that looked shockingly similar to Amanda, but didn't think too much of it, but took a video, sent that video to a mutual who I think sent it to a mutual. It got to Ciara through like telephone the same night, and Ciara had Amanda's location and like was like, looked it up same night and was like, well, Amanda's at his apartment. So that's wild. Nothing was confirmed. Then I guess at some point, Amanda came clean to her after things started circulating and getting like really wild and out of hand. And that's where we see the past like 4 to 5 days, because I guess that video was taken like Friday or Saturday. And then that's when you started seeing everything like ramp up. Like, and people started putting the pieces together from like last few weeks.
Yeah. So, okay, I had heard about the video actually.
Right.
So, because that had been circulating that there was
Right.
allegedly a video that a neighbor took, or
Right.
someone, a looky-loo, whatever, took of a girl making out with Wes in his apartment that, as you said, looked very much like Amanda.
Right.
Now, the location stuff and all of that, I had not heard that before you posted about it.
Yeah.
So, and that makes sense because once there is a video and like the video is being circulated, it's game over, dude. Like,
Right.
I mean, like if there's a video and someone has a video and someone's seeing the video, like it's only a matter of time till it gets back to Ciara and she can be like, "Yep, that's Amanda." You know?
Well, and I think why the location thing was like the nail in the coffin, because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe there's a skinny brunette in West
Right.
apartment, like abs, like
Right.
no, that's definitely not Amanda. Or maybe that's Amanda, but they're not making out, and then oh fuck, now they are. Like either or, you can see it being like not
Right.
sure.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
I'm just shocked about is it's like, again, I understand that, like, listen, with all the Bravo cast, they're all super incestuous. They all date each other. They all hook up with each other. That's not the shocking thing about this for me. I think the shocking thing about this for me is that Amanda and Ciara, I thought were legitimately really good friends.
Right.
Like, there are other casts on Bravo where they just throw a bunch of people together and you know
Sure.
they're not really tight,
Sure.
right? This was not that. Like, they were very close. And Amanda just announced her divorce from Kyle, like fresh off the press. They're not even divorced. They announced that they are getting divorced. Okay.
Right.
Like what, a month ago? Like 6 weeks ago? I mean,
Right.
and the fact that she's going after West.
So the way their statement read to me is, we hooked up, we got caught, we don't know what's gonna happen, which is why they're like, this is new, we're still figuring it out. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen, but we realize how many people are affected, and so we feel we have to give a statement. It does not to me seem like that was an announcement that they're in a relationship. It did not give that to me.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're in a I don't know if they're in a relationship or what, but they're obviously dating or together in some way. Like,
Hooking up. I think they've hooked up a handful of times, 2 to 3 times, maybe more drunk, and they got caught. And now they're fucked. That's my opinion.
and the thing is, for Amanda to blow up her life over some random hookup is
But I don't think she thought she was blowing up her life, right? Because there weren't cameras on them right now. All the focus was on her and her divorce. She was getting this fabulous edit. West is getting this fabulous edit. Also, the two of them were having the redemption arc of the century. Like,
yeah, I understand that she probably thought that maybe they could get away with it and not get caught, but like they did. And also,
what
at
are
the
they
end of
going to
the
do this
day,
summer if it went anywhere? I don't think they were thinking 2 steps ahead. I think that they were, because also West went to the Super Bowl with Ciara 5 weeks ago.
right, like really recently.
Like, if I'm being honest, completely honest, I think Ciara's been a little overly dramatic about what went down 2.5 years ago. So she meets West in 2023. They date from September to December. At the reunion, West said, I never thought it was exclusive. And Ciara said the reason she ended things with him is because she found out he was talking to other girls. So in my mind, that's an elevated situationship. He's talking to other girls. That's why you ended things. And he never thought y'all were exclusive. You never labeled each other girlfriend, boyfriend. He said, I didn't think it was a big deal that I introduced you to my parents. Yes, he made a fool of her. But in terms of actual like dating, they had a 3 month situationship, which was a little bit deeper than most because they'd spent the whole summer living together. Now,
Yeah.
that's 2023.
Oh, right. Okay. I get what you're saying, but I think for me, it comes down to how did that situationship make you feel and how did it affect you? Because like I think that short-lived, I don't want to say necessarily situationships, but even just like, I've dated someone for like 2-3 months here or two,
Fucks
three
with your
months
head.
there. And sometimes it's harder to get over those people than it is long-term relationships because again, you only are in the honeymoon phase, right? Like
Sure.
everything is so great and so good, and then all of a sudden it's over, right? So you never go through the ups and downs that couples go through. And so I do think that for Ciara, I think that I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I think she was in love with West. Like, I think there was.
I think she was. But wait, hold on. Where I'm going with this is not that. Where I'm going with this is that I think, given she spent the Super Bowl with him, given what we've seen on this season, I think why there's so much anger potentially is because there's overlap with the two. That's my theory. Yeah, I think that's why this is blown up is because as recently as the Super Bowl, West and Ciara were still being flirty.
Right. I
That
mean, it is a very quick turnaround. So, like,
So it's not
yeah,
just like a best friend thing. It's also like if you were hooking up with someone who'd fucked with you multiple times now, anyone that you flipped to 3 weeks later would be a stab to the heart.
for
Your
sure.
best friend. But like that's what I think makes it all the more worse is that
Yeah.
like it's not like if they had this situationship in 2023 and it had ended in December of 2023 and then this had happened, I don't think it would be the same result.
I think it's okay. Yeah,
Sucks,
it
but
would
I don't
still be
think it
bad,
would.
but you're right. It wouldn't nearly be as bad as it is right now because again, we haven't finished the whole season of Summer House, but we are seeing on Summer House. It appears like West and Ciara get back together
I'm
in
gonna be
some.
watching it like this, like
Me too, and now I'm watching it like zooming in. Like I'm just like, is that like the whole like West grabbing Amanda's arm thing and like him like now there's so many things that we're obviously all going to overanalyze and like interpret in all these crazy ways because we now know what's going on. But like yeah, so I definitely see what you're saying. It did appear again from the previews and from what we've heard that Wes and Ciara rekindled their romance in some way, shape, or
yeah,
form over the summer
right.
and were dating. I don't know again for how long, as early or as recent as the Super Bowl, which was literally five,
Oh,
6 weeks ago. So if
stresses
they
me
really
out
work
so
together,
much.
yes, if they really worked together 5 or 6 weeks ago, which it again appears that they
Appears
were, and Amanda is now announcing that she's getting it on with West or whatever. We don't know exactly what's happening there, but they're exploring something. That's fucked.
that part is absolutely fucked. If it was just the 2023 thing, that'd be one thing. This, and that's why I think all the cast members are reacting the way they are. I also went deep down TikTok astrology on it and makes a ton of fucking sense. West has Scorpio all over his chart.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that
Duh.
tracks. Because
That tracks
when you see
totally.
a man with a dad bod and a little too much charisma, getting a few too many hot girls, you're like, there's some Scorpio in there.
For sure.
His Venus is in Scorpio. His rising is in Scorpio. I was
Say
like,
less.
huh,
Say less.
huh.
Like, I mean, done.
I
Like,
think
I
that
don't even need to
astrology
know
is not
anything.
real.
Yeah, I don't even need to know anything else. Like, literally, like, that's enough for me, you know?
My godson is a Scorpio boy. And I literally, when he was born, I said to my best friend, I was like, better teach him
God,
about condoms early and often.
help us. Right. Literally. I mean, yeah, what I'm curious about, honestly, is like, well, I guess what's the aftermath of all of this, like, where we go from here.
Well, how do you, okay, selfishly, I want to see it.
Of
right? I want
course.
to see Ciara read him to filth, selfishly. That being said, can you imagine how tense it was with Ciara and West a year later in a house together to put Ciara and Amanda and West and Kyle?
No, Summer House is done. So like, there's no way that that cast can go back to like living together. I mean, and again, I
But
think
they've
maybe
also
that was
blown up all their careers. Like, that's the other
totally.
part. Like,
Yeah, I
you've
mean,
blown up Jesse's
well,
future music career. Sorry.
Jesse's future music
But,
career.
like, kind of. Like, where's he
Like,
going to get that exposure? Unwell needs to cast him.
I mean, Jesse actually would be really good for the
I
Unwell
know.
Network because he's such a fuckboy. Like, he would fit right in with like the Harry Jowsies and whatever. But I mean, yeah, I think that honestly, this aside, it might have been the plan to kind of end Summer House this season
Sure.
anyway and go into the, in the city or whatever they're calling it, just because they've all kind of outgrown it at this point, except for Kyle Cook, who ironically is the oldest of all of them. But I think that that was maybe the plan. But now,
They've already
obviously, like,
filmed in the city.
they haven't filmed it. I thought they filmed
No,
parts
that's what I'm
from it.
saying. They've already filmed it.
Right. Yeah.
And they've already filmed it, not including this. So they're going to show us another season that doesn't show us this.
This is my whole thing with reality TV these days is I'm like, okay, guys, if like Love Island can do
You
it,
got to get on that turnover track. Otherwise, it's all going to get spoiled. Yeah.
right.
You want me to watch Amanda and I got to return my light on. You want me to watch Amanda and Kyle like discuss their divorce when she's already banging Wes? Like, no, thank
Right.
you.
Like, girl, we know what's gonna happen. We know. Like, we know
We
what
know
to
how this
do.
ends.
Yeah, I don't really know where we go from here, to be honest. I mean, I guess they could film in the city and then just film them all separately, but obviously it's a cast, so it's gonna turn into Vanderpump, which is what I think is like, it's gonna be really, like, really awkward for people to film together. No one's gonna wanna film with each other. It's gonna be very, very messy. And I think we might get, if they're smart, they'll obviously cover this on In the City and we'll get that season of the backlash and the fallout. But then I think it's probably going to be done.
Well, I think they were creating In the City to kind of preempt what happened on Vanderpump and make like the Valley. Like
Right.
In the City is effectively the Valley, right?
Yeah,
And
for
they
sure.
were expecting Amanda and Kyle to stay together and like start a family and Lindsay to have her life with her baby, right? But like in New York, not in the Valley. And now I think that they're going to have to do, I think instead what they should do is they should center it on these girls and do their lives, Lindsay, Amanda, Ciara, whoever, their single lives. We're also a lot more invested in the girls' lives than we are the boys because the boys are just fuck boys who rotate through a different girl every week. So like,
Right.
I don't care who Jesse Solomon sleeps with.
Yeah, right. I
Like,
could care less.
I have no investment here, right? I
Yeah.
care who Ciara sleeps with. Like,
Right.
and I could see them doing that. Like I could, but she's not confirmed for In the City. The only people that are confirmed are Lindsay, Amanda, and Kyle. I don't even know who else filmed for it.
Right.
Which is wild because I don't give a fuck about any of the three of them, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm shocked to see what will happen. The other crazy part about this is that the reunion hasn't been filmed yet.
If Andy Cohen drops the ball on this reunion, I will slit his throat.
Oh no, there's no way. No, listen, in Andy, I trust. Like, say what you will about other hosts, Andy does not drop the ball. Like, remember what happened with Scandal? That reunion was diabolical, and I think I do too. I literally have chills, and this reunion is gonna be that level. It's gonna be.
Oh,
I just don't even know how Ciara's gonna sit there and stomach looking at these two epic losers. Like, she's gonna just go. I mean, I don't even like. There's gonna need to be security, like for real. Like, I'm like,
well, do you
she
remember?
should punch them both in the face. I think she should.
Going more astrological on it. West is a Capricorn sun, which is why all of his emotions and he can't express them and he can't commit all of that jazz. I did a deep dive again. I think he's going to do what he did 2 reunions ago or last reunion where he just shut the fuck down and he didn't say a word the entire time and was like a dog with his head between his legs, which is infuriating. As a girl dating a Capricorn sun, the more angry I get when Glenn just shuts down and I get nothing, it only makes it worse. I feel stonewalled. I'm like, you're not validating my feelings. You're not engaging with me on the topic. you're just shutting down. And that's worse. Like, at least give me something. Like, at least validate that you understand why I'm angry. Or, like, and I remember that reunion specifically because Ciara actually got mad and she's usually pretty calm and collected. And she, like, kind of was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and he just sat there sheepishly. And I think that's what we're going to get because also Amanda's a Capricorn sun. I think the two of them are going to be effectively silent. And I think I'm going to hate that for us.
I mean, Amanda also like is a people pleaser, and I
Yeah.
think she doesn't do great with confrontation. She doesn't like when people don't like her. I mean, none of us do, but I think Amanda especially. I don't know how she's. I mean,
Okay, last comment on this topic before we move on to what we were going to talk about. But I have to say this, I have to acknowledge it. She has been glowing in all of her posts, in all of her ads, in everything since announcing Kyle's being done and now apparently banging Wes. So look, I hate it, but at the end of the day, if her and Wes are meant for each other or if she needs this, like, we can't hold, in my opinion, we can't hold the Ciara of it all over her head forever. But if Wes breaks up with her in 2 weeks, I will eat my words. Which I think
I think I would be shocked if they're even still together or whatever we want to call this by the time the reunion is filmed. I'd be shocked.
yeah,
Like,
I think they'll have to be because they have no one else they can talk to.
well, that's right, but that's what we said about Raquel and Tom.
Yeah. Well,
And
the only reason they broke up effectively was because she went to a mental institution.
right, which I mean,
I just feel like you've got to be kidding me. We gave her a redemption arc on a platter with a swimsuit line in spring before summer. Guys,
yep, yeah,
like,
she
we
literally,
literally handed you, as a public, we handed you effectively your retirement. Like,
yes,
I'm not even exaggerating. The brand deal she could have made over the next 2 years, if she'd invested, she could be retired. And you
yes,
blew it up over a man whose name is West, and he
yes,
fucked your best friend.
and he's a ginger.
And he's fat.
Yeah, right. It's like I am just like to me, I look at this situation and I'm like, you are gonna look back on this and regret this decision so badly. And like, if there's not going to be anything that anyone can do for you at that point in time. Like,
Did you
this
see
is
the tie he wore on Watch What Happens Live that's like a horsetail?
yes,
Okay, you know the lore on that?
no,
You're gonna hate him even more.
oh God, if that's even possible.
The tie's made by this girl in Montana that was a girl he used to sleep with, who's like an indie artist in Montana that he knew because he went to college there. And like he still follows her like page where she sells these ties, but they stopped following each other, and then she started following Ciara this past week.
Wow, good for her. I love a petty bitch. I love that. Good for her. And you know what? It's like, this is what I've always said, and I'll scream it from the rooftops again. Stop giving mediocre men a chance. Please, God.
Really?
This is what happens. You give these fucking losers, like, I would say West is, like, to me, a 6, okay?
Met West on the street, or I don't know how Dara dated him when they met on Hinge, and he showed up on a city bike with his shirt unbuttoned, sweaty, and then lost his phone on the date, and they had to go find a drag queen to get his phone back on their first date, and she dated that man for another 6 months. That's a Scorpio.
Right. So, listen, looks wise, I get that West obviously has BDE, like, clearly none other, because obviously, like, he has this charisma, he has the personality, allegedly. I think he's funny. Do I think he's the funniest guy I've ever seen? No. Like,
He's
I mean,
confident
again,
about swag. That's all it is. Like, the guy who's going to wear the horse tie doesn't give a fuck, or at least
right.
wants you to think he doesn't give a fuck.
Exactly. So
And
clearly
that's hot.
he's clearly running off of, like, you know how they say people run off of like fumes or whatever. He's running off of vibes. Like, that's it. Like, he seems to have that down pat, and that's the only reason that this is happening. But it's like, again, he got Ciara, who is like a 10 out of 10 model, gorgeous. She was a nurse. Like, I mean, she did good shit for people too. Like,
Did you see her dress yesterday?
no, I don't.
It was so good. You have to go look it up. I can't remember what she was at. She was at a premiere for something. It was so good. Also, her reunion look, I cannot wait for her reunion look.
She's gonna slay, and it's as she should. And you know what? Like, The problem though is that since Wes was able to get Ciara, he now thinks that that's like he can do that because well, he can
He
and
did.
he did. He did. So now he's with Amanda. And like I'm not saying, well whatever, we're not going to pit them against each other, but Amanda is again a very attractive, beautiful, accomplished
Well,
woman.
so is Dara.
So is Dara. Dara's so hot. I'm like, what the fuck?
Look,
But again,
and she got him, or he got her when he wasn't even on reality TV. He didn't even have clout. He was like a
that's
form,
crazy.
like that's what's wild to me.
That's crazy. It has to just be like he obviously just has to be like really, really swaggy.
This
Like,
is what I think it is. It's a combination of two things. I think when a guy looks and is so utterly, dare I say it, average looking, taking aside his style, like just him as a human,
yeah,
is so average looking, we let our guard down.
for
I
sure.
personally know I let my guard down. I
Yeah,
don't think, oh, they're going to cheat. I don't think, because I don't think that that's the way they're mentally wired. That's part
yeah,
one. Part two of this is, to your point about mediocre men, I'd rather be cheated on by a Channing Tatum because at least I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? He could get better. You're correct.
100%.
Like,
I completely agree.
and this is my argument for go after the rich guy, go after the hot guy, go after the guy who's great in bed. Because if you're going to get cheated on, I'd much rather get cheated on by Channing Tatum than Wes Wilson. Like,
Yes. Honestly, I feel the same way. And you know what? This is what I always say. I'm just like, no one will treat you worse than like the middle ground dudes because
and the
those
guy whose worth is stuck on you. Like his worth is correlated to Ciara.
exactly. And it's just sort of like my whole thing is that yeah, we as women, I think, go after these average looking dudes because to go off what you said, we think they're a safe bet, right? Like we see an average guy and we're like, okay, this is a safe space. Like he's not gonna fuck me over. Wrong. The mediocre men always fuck you over
Yeah.
because now that they've gotten you, they're like, oh well, who else can I get?
It's the same way I feel about when you go after an older man, assuming that they're going to commit. And it's like, well, they haven't
Mm,
commit thus far. So why do you think you're going to be different? Like,
true.
sometimes the 25-year-old's more willing to commit to you than the 45-year-old because the 45-year-old, there's a reason he's still single at 45.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I guess the overarching principle here is you can't trust a man.
Right. They all suck, basically, is what we're trying to say here. Is it's just like, just don't date men anymore. Just
You just can't
don't.
trust a man. I mean, I legitimately, like last night, I was giving my boyfriend the debrief on this, and I was getting like more and more angry. And he was like, are you mad at me?" And I was like, "Kind of."
Yeah, I am mad at you.
Like, he was like, "I feel like you're getting a little snippy with me." And I was like, "Well, are you going to cheat on me?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, then we're good for right
Yeah.
now."
Yeah. Well, this kind of does go into our next topic that we were going to talk about, which is, I guess, more along the lines of like what people value in relationships and what people need. Specifically, when we see like a really smart woman with a not very smart man, or a very smart man with a not very smart woman. I think we see that more than we see it the reverse. And again, we've touched on this a little bit before, but I think it really just comes down to like your needs and what you value in a relationship. And I think those needs can definitely change
Sure.
as you get older, as you evolve. And yeah, I mean,
Well, so I was thinking about this last night because we were watching Love Overboard, and I stopped the show because this girl walks on and she's stunning. Don't get me wrong. All the girls on the show are stunning, right? They're
I'm
on a
sure.
Netflix reality show or
Right.
Hulu reality show. And I said to my boyfriend, I was like, do you guys realize that she has $3,000 worth of hair extensions in, veneers, fake eyelashes, fake nails, a self tan, a BBL, probably a tummy tuck, and boob implants? And he was like, no. And I was like, no, I'm being serious. Like, you can tell me. I was like, you really don't notice that. And he was like, I mean, I noticed that she, like, her boobs are kind of fake, but like, no, I wouldn't notice any of that. And I was like, do you think she's pretty? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, it doesn't bother you that she's pretty because of all of that. And he was like, no, I don't care. And like, I would say my boyfriend's a fairly like physically drip, like he's not chasing after the latest like supermodel or whatever, you know what I mean? Like he's a pretty decent average judge of attraction. And he was like, no. And then I said to him, I said, do you understand that everything that she has done probably cost her $3,000 to $5,000 a month? And he was like, huh? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and do you also understand that she's not paying for that? She's probably got sugar daddies, guys giving her whatever. Like, she's not paying $3,000 a month for that. I can guarantee you that. And I was like, so do you understand that if you were to date her and you want her to stop talking to these men who are paying for it, you're going to be expected to then pay for it? And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, no, I don't think guys really think about that when they see her like that. And I said to him, I was like, well, do you like me with longer hair? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, would you care if I had extensions? And he was like, no. And I said, okay, so if I want extensions, would you be willing to pay the $3,000 a month for me to have them? And he was like, wait, well, huh? Like, he literally visibly recoiled and was like, you'd want me to pay? And I was like, well, I can't ask another guy to pay. Like, the male mind should be fucking studied, because my boyfriend, who I genuinely think is a decent human, like is not attracted to super fake things, was looking at this cast of reality TV stars on Hulu, did not think any of them had had anything done, did not know what veneers were, did not understand the cost of any of it, did not understand that that girl's going to expect you to pay for that because she can't ask someone else to. Just, it had never, that thought had never crossed his brain. And I was like, I could look like that. And like, not like that because she's 25, but I could look pretty damn close if I spent $6,000 a month. I could. You could
Oh,
too. It's like,
girl, you and me both. The world would be my oyster. Like I would
literally.
be like, watch out, world. I mean,
I said to him, have you heard the phrase, you're not ugly, you're just broke? And he
yeah.
goes, no. And I was like,
Yeah, men have no idea. Like, it's like, again, when men are just like, yeah, I want a girl that's just like naturally pretty and that just like doesn't, do any of this stuff. And I'm like, okay, the girls that you think are pretty, naturally pretty, are just getting good work done as opposed to like
yeah,
shitty work done, which
correct.
actually means they probably cost a lot more
More.
than those fake BBL hair extension
Correct.
chicks. Because listen, like if
It
you
ain't
want good
cheap.
work, right, and you want it to be like non-detectable, yo, you're putting up a pretty penny, okay? And men just have no idea. They have no clue what any of this stuff costs. And my favorite thing is like, I mean, I've talked to men about this before and they all say the same shit. They're just like, well, we never asked you to do that. And I'm like, yes, you did.
You literally do by telling us that that is what you consider attractive. And they don't
Exactly.
realize that. And because he was saying, well, all guys like think the same girls are attractive. Like most guys, if you gave them a lineup, they'd pick the same three girls as attractive. And he was like,
Sure.
if you had a lineup of 10 guys, I couldn't tell you which ones are attractive. Because he was like, I would never think you guys would think Wes was hot. And I was like, yeah, because we don't base your currency on your looks. We base it on your ability to provide, your compassion, all these other characteristics, right? Which, speaking of, does Wes have like a secret trust fund or something? Because Jesse drives a G Wagon and Wes does not seem to have a budding career in anything. I digress. So I don't know what he's providing.
Right.
Except for
He's a
maybe a chode.
he's a journalist, which they mean they make no money, but whatever. Whatever.
Anyways, I
Anyways,
digress.
sidebar. Yeah. I think again, and I mean, this isn't me just saying this. This is just, I
No.
think, fact. Men are driven by physicality, right? So it's like men, and every single guy is like, that's not true. Like, a personality matters, like, intelligence matters, all these things matter. And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but you wouldn't talk to me. You wouldn't try to get to know me. You wouldn't try to date me if you didn't want to first fuck me. Okay. You see me and you're like, do I think this woman is hot? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then we move to stage 2. Okay. Which is, let me get to know her. Women, I mean, and again, this is us generalizing here, right? It's not like this for everybody, blah, blah, blah. But like, I think women for the most part are like, okay. And again, obviously, I know dating apps have made this, yes, in some part, we're obviously attracted to these guys first. But I
Sure.
think if you meet somebody out in the wild, for
Different. Yeah.
example, and they're really funny and charismatic and charming and not necessarily that good looking, you will 100% give them a chance.
For sure. For sure. And I also think that like what's a little bit frustrating for me is the reason you see smart girls with dumb guys and smart guys with dumb girls comes down to priorities and, in my opinion, control. A smart man does not want to have a smart woman telling him what to do, how to do it, or the majority of men. They don't want that extra level of combativeness, what have you. They want easy. They don't want an additional hurdle in their life. So they're not worried about how intelligent the woman is. If she's intelligent, okay, fine, but they're not going after an intelligent woman. And then they've got to be going after something, so they're going after looks, right?
Right.
Like the inverse, a smart woman does not want to be controlled by a man who thinks he knows better than her. Unfortunately, like what bothers me the most about this situation is me and you both have careers. I could spend $6,000 a month on my looks if I wanted to. If I wanted to rebudget, if I wanted to not save for retirement. I know girls who literally don't save for retirement because they're like, I'd rather spend that money on my looks and marry a guy who already has a retirement for me.
Fair.
And I'm like, you know what? That's not the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a strategy. Whatever.
It's a strategy, right? And
Yeah.
so I could say I spent this money on that. I won't, just because there's this rational part of my brain going, but if you never get a guy, if you don't have a like you've got to have a fallback, you've got to have a safety net. So I save that money instead of spending it on being the hottest version of myself. But it pisses me off because I want to be the hottest version of myself.
Yo, you're preaching to the choir. I understand, you know? I get it. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it just comes down to what you want, what you value. And I do think that there are both, again, both men and women, some people just don't want to be challenged. You know what I mean? They just want something that's easy, you know?
Easy, consistent, complacent, what have you. I mean, to some degree, I think that's why we saw the whole devolvement of Kyle and Amanda is she wanted a guy who was in finance who was going to allow her to be mom and be a stay-at-home mom and maybe like make her little swimsuit line on the side. But then he turned into a DJ. He wanted a party girl, which is what she was. That would have been easy. That wasn't going to make him commit or have a family. And then she turned into a homebody. So
Yep.
they both wanted what they had at the beginning, and then it went their separate ways. I think if Amanda had continued to party and Kyle had stayed in finance and stayed doing the drugs recreationally, not at Loverboy events, then we would have a marriage.
Right, that part. Yeah, you know, right. I wonder sometimes, like, again, both ways. I'm just like, what do you talk to your partner about? Because for me, and I think it depends on your hierarchy of needs. It depends on what your needs. My love language is words of affirmation. So it's like communication is really big for me.
Sure.
I could never be with somebody that was a bad texter
Sure.
or somebody that I didn't hear from often or what that would just never work for me. And so I would be like, do you guys just not talk, or like what do you talk about? Like is it literally just like, oh, it was cloudy today?
Well, so have you seen the discourse online about bids to connect?
No, I don't think
It's like the TikTok trend that was going around a while ago about like tell your boyfriend that you saw a bird.
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so there's been all these studies that are done that's like if you tell your boyfriend about your life or your day or what you saw or what you did or whatever, does he just say, okay, cool, or does he ask questions in your like bid to connect? And other examples are like if your boyfriend says, I crushed my work presentation today, like, are you gonna say, cool? Or are you going to say, I knew you would, of course you would, which is also not a bid to connect because it's basically dismissing your request for validation? Or are you going to say, oh, that's awesome. Like, what was your like best part or how did people react or like further the conversation? And in part, this is just like basic conversation skills, right? But in part, it's also when you care about someone, you ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you don't care about someone, they're a hole in a vagina. And I think that like it's harder for guys. Like I don't think guys talk about the male loneliness epidemic. I think the reason the male loneliness epidemic exists is because guys do not fulfill each other's bids to connect. No guy is saying, oh, I crushed my work performance today. And his friend is going, how did the audience react? And who said what? Right?
Yeah.
And so then they're looking for that bid to connect from their wife. And then that can often turn into a cycle where if they're only getting the bid to connect from their wife, she's the entire emotional stratosphere for him, the entire social stratosphere for him. That's a lot of pressure on her when she's getting bids to connect from also her friends and her parents and her siblings and all these other communications.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think just in general, it's a lot harder for men to communicate. I mean, this is not even me saying this is like a thing.
They're also not at a young age.
They're also what?
They're also not taught to at a young age. Like it's not something that's instilled on them as an important trait for men.
Right. And I think we see it in terms just of like gossip in general, right? Like women love to gossip. We get every little detail. We ask for like everything that happened. Men don't do that. Like they don't need all the details. They don't need all the words. Women do. So this is another reason why I think it is so much easier for men to be with women that don't challenge them, or I don't want to say like dumb women, but like women that
Right.
clearly aren't as smart as they are. You know what I mean?
No, that's such a good point because I didn't thought about it that way. Like women get absolutely villainized for gossiping, but like gossiping truly is communication. It is a form of
Totally.
communication. It is a form of connection. It is a form of sharing your experiences and your feelings and your thoughts about a situation, a person, an event. And yeah, it can get messy, don't get me wrong, but if guys gossiped more, I think they would be more mentally stable.
I do too. I think if men just talked more, they would be more mentally stable. If they shared details with their friends, like
Right.
details,
And
not just like,
there's also a difference between like, so you know how everyone makes the joke about like we need less red pill men with podcasts? There's a difference between a man giving a monologue and speaking at you or being a speaker. There are plenty of men who are speakers. We've got priests, we've got whatever. They need, how many men do we have in the podcast space, for example, that are interview hosts? Or that actually communicate and have a conversation with the other person. It's not them pushing their rhetoric down the other person's throat or talking at them, but actually communicating. And I can't think of many like Jay Shetty.
yeah. Dax Shepard, I guess, kind of interviews people on his podcast, but like he's been kind of problematic. So I mean, whatever.
Find me a man that's not problematic.
Word. Actually, though, like, yeah, I don't know. It's
Oh
like,
my
where's
gosh.
Waldo? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, not, I forgot to mention this earlier, but Tom Schwartz on The Valley.
I like okay. I have not missed him. I'll be honest with you. I haven't missed Lala either. But I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna watch The Valley, of course. Like I
We
love The
saw
Valley.
they shut down Tom Tom, that Lisa like sold it or something.
I heard that it's for sale, but I don't know if they sold it yet or if it's shut down. But it's looking like that is the direction that it's going in.
Well,
Yeah.
so my question, not to go back to reality TV, but talking about men who can't express their emotions or their feelings. First of all, what's Tom Sandoval doing? Is he making money off the most extras? That's a question for another day. Second of all, Tom Schwartz, how are you making money?
No idea.
Table it, think about it, let me know.
Yeah, we need to really do a deep dive there because like I don't actually know I don't know how they're supporting themselves anymore. Theoretically they made a lot of money off of Vanderpump Rules, but
But also, Jax is in severe amounts of debt, so they also probably blew a lot of that money.
yeah, for sure.
I also think, and this is like a digression, but it occurs in Secret Lives, it occurs on Vanderpump, and I think it occurs much more in our universe than we necessarily realize. The amount of men who use and are dependent on substances and it affects their emotional state. And I think it's hard for men to be self-aware. I don't think the same way they're not taught to communicate, they're not taught to be self-aware. So I think they're also not taught to ever quit or to say they've had enough. So I see so many times these reality stars who are like completely coked out or on something clearly or have a problem. And yes, it affects women, but I see so many women like being aware that they have an issue, and so many men, because they aren't self-aware, they don't realize it's an issue, or they don't understand how their reactions come out in anger. They don't come out in like ways that make sense. And I was just thinking that I was like, it's just the same way like all women are on Ozempic or just all men like on amphetamines to some degree in LA specifically.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think that they all are, but like, I think especially in the reality TV world, I mean, there are late nights. And like, again, with like Vanderpump Rules, this show started when they were all young. So they were partying all the time. They were out late all night. So yeah, I think in the beginning, they were probably all doing drugs. I mean, I don't know if like they're still doing them now. I mean, Jax obviously was or is or whatever, but like, I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I think it was very prevalent, especially in the early days.
Why has no one done like a tell-all on that? Like, I want the dirt. I want Katie Maloney or somebody to just be like, yeah, in that scene, that was a line. And that, you know what I mean? Like, there have been so many rumors circulating for so long. I know I'm completely on a side topic, but like, when's the tell-all coming? I want it.
I do too. Listen, you and me both. I would be sad.
Yeah. Like, I
But
want.
it's probably also due to like, legalities.
Sure.
You know, like, yeah, I would assume.
What's the statute of limitations on drug use?
I don't
Hold on,
That's a
I'm
good
gonna Google
question.
that. I need to know.
Yeah.
I feel like what's the criminal statute of limitations on drug use, California? I just need to know. Okay. Misdemeanor drug possession, 1 year. Felony drug possession or sales, 3 years. Serious drug felony, 6 years.
All right. So
Time's up. Let's go, kids.
I think they're in the clear. Like, I think we could talk about it now.
I need to know. Was it about the pasta?
Was it about the pasta or was it about the nose candy? That's really the question.
Yeah. And I need some people to come forth. I need the like, you know how they're doing the show now with Laguna Beach where they were doing the podcast where they were like saying like what was really happening behind the scenes on all those
Yeah.
scenes. Look, I love the idea. It's a little too late. I don't care anymore.
Right.
Like it's too far gone from the episodes. I need them to do that with Vanderpump and Summer House and Southern Charm, but like now for the
Yes.
episodes from 4 years ago.
Yes. I would love that. I would tune in every week.
Literally. Pitch it.
Let's go.
Okay, shall we wrap up?
Yeah, I think we shall. Do we want to talk about our three, what we're watching, eating, using this week?
I am watching Love Overboard and I'm addicted. I am eating. I'm on a flaxseed journey.
Okay.
I've been making smoothies. Now, I like to be able to chew things, so I have a big issue with smoothies. But I've been putting flaxseed and, don't kill me, blended frozen cauliflower.
Yeah.
And it's a thing. It like makes it kind of creamy,
Yeah.
ice creamy almost.
Yeah. I've heard about the cauliflower trick before, using frozen cauliflower in the
Yeah.
smoothie.
It's not
I've heard it's good.
It's not bad. Well, 'cause cauliflower doesn't have a distinct taste.
Yeah. It's just sort of like a base, right?
Yeah. So it's actually not bad. I'm not mad at it. And then what have I been using? What's it called? I always forget when I get to what have I been using. I always forget what it's called. The Patrick Ta contour. I heard like rave reviews about Patrick Ta, never owned it, bought it.
The stick?
Hype. No, the palette. It's got like the cream and the powder. Yeah. And don't have it on right now, but he's worth the hype. I'll stand by him.
Okay. So for me, let's start with what I'm watching. I started last night. Well, I finished Paradise, which was amazing. But I also started Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen on Netflix.
I want to see it.
It is like really scary so far. Like definitely watch it with Glenn. I was like, this is like
dark,
okay,
scary, like psychological scary or like horror scary,
like kind of like horror scary, but also it's like it's like you don't. There's a lot of like suspense, right? But it's really good, and I love what's her name, Camilla Morone. I don't know.
Yeah,
she's the lead in it, and obviously I'm just like obsessed with her. So that's what I'm watching. Okay, what I'm eating. I mean, again, I feel like all my stuff is just Trader Joe's items. Well, a couple things. So I tried their new gummy mushrooms.
I almost got those yesterday. Are they good?
They're okay. They're not great. They're sour. They taste to me like almost like a strawberry lemonade type flavor.
Okay.
It's not my favorite. They're not my favorite. I'll be honest about that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm also just like all the time I eat their breakfast sandwiches, which is just like, it's like an English muffin with just like sausage, egg, and cheese. And their breakfast sandwiches are actually really solid.
Okay.
So
better than the Starbucks like turkey egg white ones?
They're similar.
Okay. Good to know. I like those.
Yeah, they're good. And then what I'm using, I'm trying to think what I'm using that I like. I'm very consistent with what I use, to be honest with you. But I'll just say what I'm using today. So today, people do actually ask me my lip combo a lot, and so right now I am using it is Makeup Forever. Again, everybody uses this wherever walnut, but the waterproof one. So here's what I will say about that is that it does really stay on for a long time.
Okay.
It's a little dark for me personally because I'm so fair, but like. That is what I'm using right now. I do like it. Okay. So
I've never used it.
Oh, you should try it.
Okay. I don't do a lot on my lips. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm a tomboy and I just never got into like lipsticks or lip things, but I'm trying to be better about it.
Yeah, you should try it. It's fun. Why not?
Why not? Live a little.
Yeah.
On that note, shall we?
Yeah, we'll chat again next week.